Damn, I am so excited that Tenys finally meta. Fuck. Tenys, or more well known as the Sorcerer Extenders, are a deck that was designed to take advantage of non-effect monsters on the field, which they facilitate with a plethora of graveyard effects, a field spell that gives those monsters protection, and a bunch of free special summons. So, after seeing Teny being used in Sorcerer to break boards and make level 8 synchros, you might ask yourself, what does the deck accomplish outside of Sorcerer? Which is a question that is very dependent on your build. Some builds use the Tenys as free monsters to make generic boss monsters like Appaloosa. Others take advantage of the level 8 pool and synchro spam their way to victory, and even Vanity's Fiend is an option that people have considered, but all those decks share the same issue, they are just weaker versions of other decks, so the version of Teny I believe to be the best is the version that uses Danglong and Mare to link clamp to Sasahara and end on 9 paths. The reason I think this version is the best is due to it taking advantage of the best thing the archetype has to offer, as well as using a lot of generic worms to deal with a lot of situations, which is a kind of adaptability the other variants don't have. So, after all that talking, let's get right into the card by card. We are playing one Shaiwan. It is the best Yangzing main deck monster to play as a Danglong Garnet. Following that, we are playing 3 each of Adhara, Shafana, Vishuddha, and Ashuna, and 2 each of Mapura and Nahada. We are also on 1 Mare as a combo piece and 2 Longjuan as extenders. For the hand traps, we are on 3 Maxi, 3 Ash, and 3 Crow. For the spell and trap lineup, we are playing 1 Terraforming, 3 Vessel of the Dragon Cycle, which is a full spirit with upside, 3 Flawless Perfection of the Teny, and 2 Heavenly Dragon Cycles. For the traps, we are 1 Sorcerer Blackout and 1 9 Pillars of the Yangzing. In the extra deck, we play 1 Danglong, 1 Yazi, 1 Baxia, 1 Shija, 1 Shengying, 1 Kringsha Longjuan, and for the links, we are on Triple Monk, Double Shaman, Double Berserker, 1 Sasahara, and 1 Underworld Goddess because Masterduel is best of 1 and I do not want to lose to Crooked Cook Turbo. This is a very basic list that you can change based on the format. If Despia falls out of favor, changing the hand trap lineup could be a good idea. You also could play 1 Draco Berserker of the Teny over the Underworld Goddess, and even Draco Masters can be a great choice for that spot. So now let's talk about the combos this deck has. There are 2 main combo lines that require different monsters, but also produce vastly different endboards, so you can adapt your endboard to your opponent's deck. The first combo requires you to open Ashuna and either Vishuddha or Adhara, and you start the combo by special summoning the Ashuna from hand, linking into a Monk of the Teny, activating the effect of the card you have in hand to special, then you activate the Ashuna Engrave to get the one you didn't draw, you make a Shengying, and activate the effect of Shengying to add a Longjuan to your hand, then you activate the Adhara effect in graveyard to add back the Ashuna, you activate your Longjuan in hand, discard the Ashuna, and special summon him with a token, and then you either make Longjuan or Shengying, depending on the situation. This board is basically 1 monster negate, a banish of a spell trap, and a banish of a monster. Okay, so for the next combo you need to open Ashuna and either Adhara or any level 4 Teny. You start the combo off by special summoning the Ashuna from hand, linking the Ashuna into a monk, special summoning the card you drew, and getting the other half out of the deck. Then you make Danglong, activate Danglong to get 9 pillar. Then you activate Adhara in graveyard to get back the Ashuna, and activate Danglong on field to send a Mare. Then you make a Monk of the Teny, activate Danglong to get Shaiwan. You make Shaman, discarding the Ashuna, get back the Mare, activate Mare's effect up to thrice per turn, make a Sasahara, and set your card. And with that, you have this endboard. This endboard consists of 1 Omni Negate with 9 pillars, and basically all your effect monsters are targeting protected as long as you have a non-effect monster, which Sasahara can spawn. You also have graveyard set up for the next turn in Shafana and Ashuna. Okay, so now that we know the combos, let's talk about how the deck actually wins, because as you saw, it doesn't set up a lot of interaction. But the boards are still deceptively powerful because you only invest 2 cards, you have a very long grind game, and your opponent has struggle to out these monsters that cannot be targeted and in optimal cases also cannot be destroyed by battle. So you just wait and you gain resources by the likes of Vishuddha, Adhara, and Ashuna, and wait until you have more resources than your opponent and just kill them. So now that we know how the deck wins and the basic combos, let's talk about its matchups in the current meta. The first deck I would like to talk about is Despia, the currently best deck. The Despia matchup is very skill intensive because both players have to manage their resources at all time, but you sometimes just auto-win by drawing Ash or DD Crow, and they sometimes just auto-win because you brick. That happens, but you have a pretty good matchup against them. Against Sword Soul, your matchup is even better because you can push through the limited amount of interactions they have easily because you have a lot of extenders in your deck. The problem your deck has is floodgates like Barrier Statues or Inspector Border. Decks that mainly rely on these cards give you a lot of trouble because you don't have a lot of ways to out those. All your Tenys activate in hand, so you cannot special summon them under border, and no Teny main deck monster can inherently beat over a Barrier Statue. At least none of the ones that can be normal summoned. So, but to end this on a high note, you have a very good matchup against Eldritch, because Eldritch struggles to out a Sasahara. Their only real out is the one Conquistador, and their skill drains. You can out skill drains pretty easily. And the one of Conquistador can be baited or destroyed decently easy. So, after this entire guide, would I advise you to build Teny? Yes and no. If you just want a cheap, fun deck, go ahead. It also is good if you made a Danglong because you wanted to play Hulkdon and then it got banned. Now you can cope that a Danglong was a worthwhile investment. If you just want to have the easiest way to Diamond 1 though, I wouldn't advise to build Teny, I would advise to build something like Despia or Sword Soul. That would be a lot easier.